Okay, so I'm listening to Donald Hoffman on Next Level Soul. That is about the closest I've heard to succinctly saying what appears to be true. The fact that the fact that that I'm even able to hear another entity articulate the entire story, like the entirety of meaning and purpose, and go, yeah, that checks out. That really does, like, all of my experience in the world points toward, yeah, ding 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 ding. Is like, it just can't be a coincidence. Like, there's no way that, like, the more I consider the matter and try and take an honest look at, like, what does it mean that independently I've come to the, not like kind of the same answer, the exact same answer, like precisely the same thing. That it's just like, it's not a coincidence. I don't buy that. I looked everywhere. Like I said in previous videos, like, it's like I keep on listening and considering the matter, and listening and reconsidering the matter, and living life, and like interacting and interfacing with like my surroundings and paying attention, like really just like looking around at every single detail that I can like take in about like the nuances and like the similarities and the replicating processes. And it just keeps on mounting. The evidence just keeps on building. It's like a snowball. And so now, when like friends that I don't talk to in a while like contact me, I'm like really at a loss for words, because my experience is like so hard to articulate. It's so not like, clearly not like other people's experience. Because like part of it is that I like feel compelled to laugh about it. Like, it's not simply like just espousing it. It's more of this like, oh, holy fuck, holy shit, super wild. It's super wild. And that's the part that I like haven't quite experienced with another yet. Like the level of like inside jokeness. Like, oh, you get it too. Like you realize how fucking silly it is. And like how free we are, not individually alone, but like we're free to like work in unity, to be act in unity, to be in unity, to play in unity. Like I've had the experience of like this shared like kind of conclusion and like deductive process or like insights, but then like to come across someone who's like way into like radical experimentation and like wants to seriously like play like unbelievable reality games. That's where I like I just haven't found another human being like that yet. Like there's kind of like the lukewarm like, oh yeah, let's experiment or something, but it's not like this like, oh, I actually mean it. Like I actually sincerely like am committed to that. It's this like, oh, we'll find out if that happens, or like, I guess that's possible for somebody else to do, or something like that. And so I think, well, no, I don't think, I know that that's the most exciting part. Like I've messaged people who understand some of the fundamentals of this. Like they're like grasping the rules of the game or something like that. And that's kind of how I hear like Alex and like Donald. It's like they're like getting it, like that there are rules to the game, and like the game is coming into out of liminality. Like they're like, boom, there is definitely a game here. And then I'm like, play the game. Like, where is the open invitation to like have planet Earth party? And like work in unity and like play in unity. Again, work, play, exist, be in unity. Yeah. Like I said, it's like being on top of the mountain and like you see how close people are and you're so fucking excited for when people like get up to the top with you and you are like you want to celebrate. You just want to fucking celebrate. You're like, yes, you did it too. Fuck yes. Okay, let's have like a fucking dance party and be like, be our true nature of like totally free and weird and like okay about that. Like really embracing it. I mean, and the yeah, I have to articulate it. The basically the gaslighty part of this all is that that people who don't understand what I'm talking about, which is literally everyone, doesn't understand that, is they say, well, like, be in a playful mode with people. And it's like, yeah, that only goes so far because of the limited ability of people to play. Like, they have a limited sense of like what's possible. They have like trauma, they have ego things. They're like their world is like fundamentally less open. And so it's like you want to like go full throttle with somebody and like you know that there is like a very distinct barrier of their like expression of self. And like most of me wants to just be like, stop doing that. Knock the fuck off. Wake up again. Wake up. Your true nature is that you are God, and it's hilarious. It's so funny. Stop doing this to yourself. Like, stop. I don't mean like, let's do limited play. I mean, like, let's be infinitely playful. Ah, yes, that's it. That's what it boils down to in this moment of experience, in this at this point in time, or this stage of the story, or this like, yeah, this chapter of the story is like, I'm tired, I'm so exhausted of waiting. I really want more people to play with. It would be just so much cooler. And I have to keep on waiting. And it's it's just I don't know. It's 13.8 billion years. I don't know, which is another 20 years matter, I guess. I mean, yeah, it does. And it doesn't. I don't know. I always say that. I don't know. Of course I know. I do know. It's this little like shorthand wave, like trying to be like, I'll wait a bit longer. I accept where I'm at. It's gonna be okay. And I'm allowed to be impatient. Like, that's totally cool. It's not a fucking big deal. You know, I get pissed off about shit too. I still am a human being right now. Still sit and brood over shit sometimes and like want to whack somebody in the head. You're like, knock it off. Stop misbehaving. Maybe not that last part. I don't ever really feel like hitting somebody. It's in a metaphorical sense. It's just funny. You just have to like couch everything you say in like in this like veil of nuance, because otherwise you're like people misconceive you as like, oh, you're such an overbearing blah 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 blah, blah. So assumption. This is, you know, they like literally like it's astonishing how much people just like love to assume shit about you and like not ask any questions. And then like also like hear you but not hear you at all. Like they're like, oh, okay, I'm grasping it. And then it's like, and then you kind of like ask a question that would indicate that they heard you, and then they're just like totally butcher it. You're like, no, you have no clue what I'm talking about. In fact, like it's and like the layers of having no clue are so deep that it feels like a lost cause at some points. It's funny. It's funny and ridiculous. Like, where do you begin to try and untangle the nonsense? It's similar to it actually must be very similar to what a, you know, like normal like a normal person would perceive Alex Jones or something, where he's speaking and you just hear this like fucking like shit come out of his mouth, and you're like, whoa, whoa, what? And but I view that person like they view Alex Jones. Like I'm like, oh yeah, like of course you would like ask more questions. Like, of course you wouldn't assume. Duh. Fucking duh. Of course you would be curious about like literally everything. It's simply ridiculous not to be. It's so unuseful and unlike true. It's your essence to be curious. Like the whole mystery of reality, you're bathing in it. It's the water you swim in is the mystery of reality. Like how can you be so unattuned to your surrounding? The level of not knowingness is baffling. It's seriously, it's like seriously like uh uh should floor you. It's like, oh yeah, Gavin. Well, like you don't know either. Okay. It's like, yeah. And like I'm fully aware of that. That's what makes it like different, is like if somebody had said to me, like, you don't understand, I would spend every single ounce of energy, everything necessary until I got to the absolute bottom of that, where I said, okay, now do I understand you? And until they said, yes, like, wow, that was spot on. That was exactly, then I would be like, cool, that's it. That's great. There it is. I have gained new perspective about the world. Like I have like transcended something, like something novel. And that's the whole point of being here, is like gain more perspective, be more, encompass more, embody more. How else would you become a more powerful character in the game than to acquire new tools of understanding, more perspective? again, drawing back to the Alex Jones, it's like, duh, obvious. Someone says something to you and they're like, this is important. It must be important. Like, it can't not be important. They are you. They're communicating that something is important to them. Therefore, it's important to you. It feels nice to say these things because I keep because how many things I've run into, like I'm probably approaching, somewhere around like 4,000 to 5,000 hours of listening to like content surrounding like attempting to bridge the gap between spirituality and science. So like I've really heard just like zillions of people try and like bridge those things. And nobody has ever spoke about it the way I'm speaking about it right now, where they're like, it boils down to a game, like including everybody. Like the term Planet Earth Party, I've never even heard that before. Not in the sense of like singularity anyway. No, I mean, I've literally never heard it before. I imagine that there's been like some like, you know, uh, uh, Skrillex or something of that, somebody like that, EDM, like DJ who's conceived of something of that nature. It's like, no, like that's not really like the intention behind that is nowhere close to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like full blown, like transcending the fabric of reality kind of party, that sort of thing. Like ultimate co-creation, like unity of consciousness, that thing. Like everybody like forgetting that they even like ever existed or like they have history or there's anything at all because like they're attuned to the absolute nature of like now. Probably, I wonder if they thought about this in the second Matrix when they're all dancing down in Zion. It might be something like that. Where there's just like a huge ass dance party and like uh for the entire human race. Hmm. Because there's something about the nature of like obviously there's something about raising a vibration. We know that's so. There's something about like breaking through a threshold, emergence. So what would that look like? Yeah. It's a question, it's an open question to me. I don't imagine that I could really I think that this would be a moment of like reality is stranger than I can suppose. I literally can't imagine that what would occur, and yet something could occur. that's totally novel, totally like reality shattering. I think that's all for me. Yeah. I mean, I guess I should plug it. Don't hesitate to reach out to me if you listen to this. You feel like, ah, I'm down to throw Planet Earth party. It's like, I don't know. I think that might be just like the final thing. It would appear so. Increasingly. Maybe. Yeah. Ta-da! Boop, ba-da-doo, boop, boop, boop.